Hey everybody, 609 Collector here, coming at you with another video. This time I'm going to be reviewing the Mezco 112 Collective Spider-Man. Alright, so there you see, nice web design on the box. Get your Spider-Man 112 Collective Pose Play Display. Up top, Mezco 112 Collective. Bottom, all the warning signs, choking hazards, all that good stuff on the side. Nice classic spider symbol. That side. And here on the back, you'll see Spider-Man with your two heads, kind of closed eyes, big eyes, all the hands you get, and different poses of the figure. I did a little 2-minute review of this a while ago, which is really popular. I don't know why I haven't done more. I'm just so lazy. But I might do more of those and just throw them up for people to glance at real quick. 112 scale, intricate tailored costuming, over 30 points of articulation, the different webs you get. Really nice figure. A lot of people are looking forward to this. I really enjoyed it when I got it. Gonna slide it up to reveal the collector friendly packaging. Dropping things. I call it collector friendly because these don't have the window boxes, so these are more easily displayed if you are a mental card collector. Let's turn down the flash for a moment, just so you can kind of see without all that light glaring on it. So it looks like an inbox with everything in it. All right. Let's turn this blaring flash back on so I can pop it out of the box. We can get a good look at it. All right, now here he is out of the box, and really great figure. The blues are kind of dark blue. Under this light, you see it better, but it's a darker blue, not super light like you would think from the comics, but it's dark. Kind of got a little shininess to it, and the red is very nice. And the red's like a vinyl material over the figure. Big spider symbol there, and then this spider symbol on the back. A lot of people were kind of bummed you didn't get more of the classic spider symbol, kind of like they showed here, which would have been nice. You get that on the base, but not on the back of the figure. I'm sure some people could mod it, but you know, is it really that big a deal? It's Mezco's take on the figure. All right, so gonna go over the accessories real quick. I think that's the order I'm gonna go in. Go over the accessories. Go over the aesthetics of the figure, some things are a little bit different than you might have thought, and then go over the articulation. Okay, so you have your two heads. You have your regular head, like I said, with big open eyes, and your smaller, kind of squinty eyes, like more like a spider sense or eyes closing, whatnot, because in the comics he would do that, even though it's impractical because it's a mask. You do see that, and that's something you got from Spider-Man in the MCU, because the mask has like the cybernetic eyes, they open and close, which is pretty cool. And you get hands. It comes with two fisted hands right out of the box. You get two mirror image flippy hands. All right. This is your left flippy hand. Just notice that's kind of cool. So these are kind of raised. The black lines are raised bumps. But if you look really closely, you see on the fingertips, it's actually kind of got like rubber grips. I've never ever noticed that before. I've picked up this figure dozens of times, never noticed that. Then you get two not so much closed palms, but kind of like grippy hands for holding things. But you see where the thumb is placed. The thumb is kind of placed over the hand like this instead of you would think like that, which is more for like the webs, holding webs, because he does have webs that can emulate swinging, which is nice. And you have two open hands, and these hands are different. They're not identical mirror images of one another. This is a kind of bummer for some people. This is a wide open kind of splayed palm, like a yo, give me a high five, or I'm reaching for something, or you could be, normally typically you show the wall crawling hand, but this is more like a reaching for something, grasping at something kind of hand. That's for the left. But then for the right, you get this really cool hand, very similar that it's open, but different in the fact that the fingers are kind of bent, like he could be wall crawling. He's putting that pressure on his hand. And in typical Mezco fashion, you get one cool hand, but they don't give you two. I don't know what the cost would have been, how much trouble it would have been to just give you 2 of these and 2 of those, but that would have been really cool. One really awesome thing Mezco could do in the future is if, see, look at how well that sits. Well, not there, but when I put it down, look at that. That sits amazingly. It's like Cousin It, or Thing, whatever the hand was from the Addams Family. But if Mezco ever released like accessory packs, kind of like DC Icons did, it was the best thing that line did. Let me actually pause. Yeah, one thing DC Icons did was $30, but they gave you this accessory pack, which was pretty cool. The figures are a little undersized, a little bit smaller than DC UC or DC collectible figures, so the line, I think, kind of didn't take off because people didn't want to buy their whole collection again. The fact that they couldn't buy a figure and fit it in well with their existing collection, but it's cool because you had accessories, so you get like the Joker fish, the Jay Garrick helmet and whatnot, this little Green Lantern dude, and like the Green Lantern effects and the arrows or whatever. So I got it just for the fact that I can intermingle those pieces with Mezco's, because, you know, you have a Flash, you have a Joker, you have a Green Lantern coming out, and the Green Arrow. So that's why I picked that up. So if Mezco ever dropped one of those with different pieces, you can maybe get that extra Spider-Man hand or that extra Wolverine hand so you can hold the freaking sword, stuff like that. All right. Now, real quick, we're going to get into the webs. These are really cool. And you have the little loop design that you can't see. And this little loop design there. And it comes out and it opens up. So this could be a web that is about to hit a surface. Maybe it's already hit a surface, you know? Or maybe it's going to capture a bad guy. And I'll show you how these connect once I pick it up off the floor. Really, really great design here. You've seen some customizers do this when they make their own webs, so it makes sense. On the flippy hand, just the right side. Yeah. So on this right flippy hand that I've dropped to the floor, you will see a slight indent right there at the base. That is so that you can clip it right there. It will cover the loop part seamlessly, and you can't even see all that. I believe Miles Morales had the same effect, but now it's just, that is the wrong hand. That is totally the wrong hand. I thought I picked up the right one, but in fact I picked up the left one. You guys are watching this like, dude, that's the wrong hand. Someone tell me it's the wrong hand. I can't watch this anymore. All right, there. Everyone's OCD can take a break, because now the wrong hand has become the right hand. So there, you see it fits seamlessly and it comes out of there. So now Spidey looks like his neck is broken, but now, you know, he's like, flip. And that's just pretty cool, you know? So he has others. He has this one here, and this, they're pretty similar, except one is a little bit longer, and the ball at the end is definitely bigger on this one. So that could be like an impact webbing, you know, it's going to hit something and expand. This is more of like that old school crosshatch webbing that you used to see back in the day, from like 1960s Spider-Man and whatnot. Just the lines with the cross-hatching. But that's pretty cool. And these are kind of like a white, pearly finish. You can make that on the camera, it's pretty nice. And you have this bad boy. This is nice. This is just 2 bendy wires. Alright, kind of rolled up at the end on both sides. And that's it. I'd say it's about a foot long. When you bend it in half, it's about, yeah, it's about, this is a 6-inch figure almost, so yeah, it's about a foot long. All right, that comes with it really, really nice. This is what can fit into these hands here to emulate the web swinging. And I dropped another hand. Man, Spider-Man hand drop review. And then you see the thumb go there, or it can go there, or we cannot focus on things, but that's what those hands are for. All right, so spent enough time on accessories. Let's just whip through the articulation real quick and some of the features of the figure. Let's take that hand out. Let's throw this awesome hand on there. And then let's start with the head. So you can have, of course, the double neck peg. You have a ball peg at the bottom and a ball peg at the top. So you don't just get side to side, you get drastic side to side motion. You know, very, very dynamic and kind of exaggerated. Side can go, you know, head can go side to side, which is nice. That's the ball peg looks like up top. And it's the same thing down there. It's just a very long neck as well. Spider-Man's got a very elongated neck. So, you know, that peg goes way up there. Which means you can look back that far. And go forward that much. Right, down that much. Arms will go to the side this much. This is supposed to be a thinner body, you know, specially made just for Spider-Man. He's actually a little taller than the Miles Morales figure, which I might break out for my size comparison. All right. You can go around this much. If you have to, you can rotate the costume a little bit. You know, which is cool. That upper bicep swivel. You do have the joint inside, but it's so tight and the cut is so small, you can't really take advantage of that forward, you know, the forward motion so much, which sucks. Some figures have it much better, but his is just so tight. His arms only go in that much. So you can't really get the web grip action from the front. Upper bicep swivel, hand falling off again. Totally changed the name of this review to the drop hand Spider-Man. All right, double jointed elbows. The gauntlets here don't move, because one thing about the gauntlets is it's kind of raised here. You see, it's not flat across, it's raised a little bit, which meets up here, and it's glued. So it's not going to move, but it also will kind of keep the line of the webs going. All right. You get those wrist pegs I love so much. Down, up, 360. So you get such an increased range of motion, like your import figures. All right. And you know you have your two diaphragm joints. You have a joint up here. I mean, your two torso joints. Your diaphragm joint up here, which allows for motion side to side. So you can go to the side this much. You can go to the side that much. You have another one here at the waist. It's not like your regular just turn. It also allows you to move to the side. So standing up, you go to the side that much. That much allows you to go back that far. See how it kind of like there, you push it more though. You get all that. Head back. And Spider-Man's limbo champ. Forward. You get that much. But then with the... Okay, so pretty decent. Legs can almost come all the way up, which is pretty good for Spidey, you know? Not bad. Now, I did take this apart and customize this, so I'm going to show a little comparison at the end, but I'm also going to make a complete video on the custom mod I did to increase Spider-Man's articulation. Look at that plug. You know, so you can still get this figure in some pretty good poses, you know, but you're still limited by not being able to come in. All right, real quick, I'm going to go over the articulation. All right, I'm going to go over a certain aspect of the figure before I go over the articulation. First, I'm going to start with the head sculpt. Very nice. Very well done. The lines are great, all raised. Pretty well painted. You don't see any bleeding, anything like that. Nice sharp lining around the eyes. And if you look at the eyes, you can't see it because of the flash, but these are actually like kind of plastic lenses, which give them depth, which is cool. You saw that on Miles Morales as well. All right, so that's a pretty nice head sculpt. And compared to this one over here, you have the smaller eyes, maybe even a classic Spider-Man. Some people are looking at it. They're very nice. The web patterns inside are done very well. Eyes aren't too far apart, so you'd think maybe there are real eyes in there, but done really well. If anyone's wondering what this is one of the NECA figure stands. I'm gonna try and use these from now on in my figure reviews. They're really cool. I forget how much they cost, but I got it at Toys R Us, which is slowly beginning to not exist anymore. So good luck finding them for a decent price, maybe at like a comic shop or online. Another interesting thing I'm gonna go over, something special about the figure, the gauntlets. They are done of a plastic material, which you would expect, but they don't come straight across. They kind of are raised here. You can see on the side they kind of come up. Now here it's very seamless, matching with the red. On the back you can see the vinyl material there, the gauntlet here, and it's done pretty well, so the line work kind of matches up. But one thing is you cannot rotate it because it's glued here. If you try to rotate it, you'll tear it and you'll rip it off the vinyl, which would suck. Alright. Another thing is the boots. The boots are not flat all the way around. They come up in the back a little bit and meet the calf right there. Instead of going all the way around up there or all the way around down here, they meet the calf right there, and the calf is shaped to meet it very well. So the calf just comes right in here. This is out slightly more than the calf, but the calf is shaped and there's a line to meet right in the top of there. So this is built for that. Okay. Now that we've done that, those are just some features that are a little different than you would be expecting from like the straight boot or the straight over there. Some people are like, I don't know, but that's just what it is. So real quick, we're going to do the articulation and then do a size comparison. We all know how much I love this. You have a ball peg up there. You have another ball peg in the bottom, so that allows for the neck to actually move on its own, down, back, and forward. So it increases the range of motion for the head drastically. You put the head on there, instead of just going to the side like that, you can go to the side all the way like that, which looks like a broken neck, or all the way like that. A lot of Mezco figures have that, except for characters like Batman, where you have the cowl. Red Sun Superman has the cowl, and then a few figures are the head and neck attached, but for the most part, most of your Mezcos will have that double piece of articulation. Allows you to look up that much. Allows you to look down that much. Pretty cool. Your arms don't just go off to the side. Your arms come right out that much. Get a nice YMCA kind of pose going on there. Alright. Alright, so your arms go out that far. They rotate around, up, no problem. The vinyl does kind of hinder, but I'm not worried about stretching right now. But if you leave it in a pose like this over time, it may stretch and stress. Alright. And flakes. That's what some people are always worried about with this kind of pleather vinyl material. Okay. But you can go out and you can always just roll the costume a little bit. That's what I like to do usually. So take some of that stress off. You know, you just roll it a little bit like that. So if you're posing it this way, yeah, you can take some of the stress off of there by just rolling it. Roll it in a bit. Whatever. Alright. So you do have an upper bicep swivel, which will travel a little bit because of the vinyl. Double jointed elbows. And again, the gauntlet doesn't rotate, so don't bother. You don't want to rip the vinyl. And then the wrist pegs will lift so much up, down, and because of the rotation, you can get in and out. So that's always a great factor. Like Japanese import figures, not many American release figures have it, but I absolutely love it. Now, it doesn't seem like you have this butterfly joint, but you do. You heard it move there. It's very slight. And the reason is because it's cut. This frame is so small and it's cut in there with very little room to move. I've been inside the costume, I've seen it. So what you can't so much get is you can get the hands in pretty far. You know, you can get the arms in that much before they want to kind of like open, but that's really it. So, I mean, it's because the shoulders are kind of big. It allows it to kind of bypass the chest area a little bit. And he's got skinny arms, so it kind of makes up for it. But this is very, very tight. The pecs is very, very tight around that joint. Now you have your two cuts for the torso, your diaphragm joint, which is a ball peg, and your ball peg down there. So what it allows is it allows rotation up top and rotation at the bottom. If you have like a Marvel Legend or other figures like that, you typically will see just a line here which allows swivel from side to side, but this allows the figure to roll at the lower torso and roll at the upper torso. So you get side articulation like that, side articulation like that. And this is the same with most of your Mezco figures. Pretty much all your Mezco figures will have that, which is pretty nice. DC Icons used to have the line and the ab crunch and then the diaphragm joint up top, which is good. And, you know, extra articulation is always nice. But this just gives you a full range of motion, which pretty well emulates the motion of the human body because you have those 2 points of movement. All right. So you can go back that far. You can go forward or with the hips straight up. You can crunch forward like that, or you can really, really crunch forward with the hips involved, you know. But from just straight up legs forward that much with the hips, you could bring Spidey all the way into a pose like this, which is more than 90, not all the way up, not quite what you want for a Spider-Man. Pretty decent. You can bring out that much for your Y, your split. You have, you know, your ball joint there, your upper thigh swivel, which is nice, your double jointed knees, which are pretty good. You don't have rotation related to boot, just because, like I said, it's cut and shaped to fit in there. Because of the backwards angle, it's not really going to slide, so it's kind of hindered, but whatever. And then you have your rotation there, your ankle rocker, side to side, which is pretty decent for Spider-Man, even with his skinnier ankles. Like I've stated before, skinnier ankles give you the best range of motion. So that side to side, which is pretty decent. But you get only down that much and forward that much, which isn't a lot. I tried shaving off the back there. It doesn't really do much of anything on one because I have multiple Spider-Man figures, but you know, it didn't do much. One thing I didn't mention is the boot, his spider sneaks. They look like freaking Spider-Man cross trainers. It's not just a regular red boot with a flat bottom. You'll see that there's this line work all the way around the boot. Zoom in there. So you see this fancy line work all the way around the boot. You know, and then the bottom kind of has like, look like little bugs or beetles, but have these spider things, which I guess is cool. I've always wondered about that. You're running around flat foot in little boots, jumping on things, like it would hurt. So it makes more sense to just have these pads. The balls of his feet, his heel, they're separated there. The toes are separated. So that's like Mezco's own little thing they threw in there, but it's nice. I can get behind that. I'm not hating. And he's got ball pegs in the bottom of both his feet, which all Mezcos do because there's a peg on the stand. Alright. So that's that. Before I do a size comparison, this is the one that I modded. I took apart the figure, took it out of the costume, took apart the figure, just so I could increase the range of motion on it. You can still strike a similar pose with this guy here. This pose isn't anything like too crazy, too dynamic, because you can still kind of achieve that. This is like a classic pose for Spider-Man. There's a comic, I think a black suit version. Yeah, so you can still get that pose out of your regular Spider-Man. But what I've done is increase the articulation to the point where I can get the hands in. All right. His arms go in much further. Oh, malfunction. Having a problem right now. Alright. I can get his arms to come in really, really far. And then a lot of it is here in the torso, where you can get him bent all the way up there. So you can get his legs up much higher, all the way to his chest. And just more off to the side. Now this is the second one I've done. The first one I did came out pretty similar. I shaved more out of the hips this time. But yeah, even with it all shaved up, you can't really see too much of what's been cut out. Unfortunately, on this one, you can see here that the shoulder's popping out of the socket. So that sucks, but whatever. I'm going to keep this one for me because I have like 4 or 5 of these, but this is just a test run. The first one came out good, but just trying to up this here, you have to pop the whole shoulder out and take out this kind of cut butterfly joint to get in there. And just putting it back in seems like it didn't take too hot because it's actually a ball peg that the shoulder connects into, and it got kind of worn down trying to get it out. But that's fine. I can keep this one for pieces because I actually got this guy for $6. I won him, haha, so I'm not too broken up about it. All right. Again, with the hands, but I'm going to do a full review on that. Probably showing off the other one that I did a little bit better without the busted up shoulder. Show you how it's supposed to come out. But that's pretty much it for Spider-Man. Just going to do a real quick size comparison. And I'll end this one. It's running kind of long. My videos usually run a little long. But here he is, next to the Marvel Legends Pizza Spidey. The thing about Mezcos are all tall. Some people complain because Spidey's only about, what, 5'8"? Yeah, like 5'8", I think. No, 5'10". I'm 5'8". Spider-Man's like 5'10". Captain America's like 6-something. So for Spider-Man to be the same size as Cap, almost taller, I think some people just aren't digging it. But they're Mezcos, and he's always in crazy poses, so you can kind of fudge it. But there's Spider-Man next to Spider-Man. Spider-Man next to SDCC Wolverine. Spider-Man next to PX exclusive Punisher. And like I said, he actually looks like he's a little taller than the previous exclusive Punisher. If they're not the exact same height, he might be a little bit taller, but everyone's taller than Wolverine, so it's not that big a deal. But that's it. So I'm going to do, I'm going to swap and do the other one that doesn't have the shoulder issues, but see, now it wants to stay in there. I am going to do just a quick review of this guy and how I up the articulation. And there goes my light because my battery's dying, but yeah. I'm going to do another quick review and just show how I increased the articulation on these guys to make them a little bit better. This and the other version that I did that came out really nice as well, and show how I looked after I sewed it back up. Alright, thanks for checking this out. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment. I'll try to get back to you, and I'll get more videos out. Later.